And there are some secrets that the powerful will kill to bury. They always try to bury a lot of secrets. But in Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has decided that the man they tried to erase from the revolutionary history of Burkina Faso will never be forgotten. Not while he breathes, not while the flame of revolution still burns. Welcome back, beautiful people. And I'm happy to have this conversation with you because it is time we talk about it. Right now, I'm not feeling too great, but I have to talk about this as a matter of urgency. So, with regards to the legacy of Thomas Sankara, we have to understand some things first because of certain allegation that is out. And we think it's time to educate the people that don't know, right? When they gunned Thomas Sankara down in 1987, they did not only, thank you so much for coming in from the US, thank you so much. They did not only take the life of Thomas Sankara. According to the information that has circulated for decades, the plan went further than the bullets. All right, yeah, it went further than the bullet because a man's body is not just flesh and bones. A man's body is a symbol. And for the former colonial masters, right, in time of France this time around, a dead Sankara buried in the dark and forgotten was the only Sankara they could tolerate. Thank you so much, family, for coming. Now, here's the thing. The spirit of Thomas Sankara could not be killed by, using his comrade, Blaise Compaoré, to take him out. His ideas survived in the streets of Burkina Faso. His songs, the memory of a people who refused to be forgotten. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the question becomes, how do you kill the memory of Sankara? The answer, according to the intelligence that reached the authorities in Ouagadougou, was some people are trying to destroy the remains of Thomas Sankara. Because if there is no body, if there is no shrine, if there is no place for people to gather, and the spirit of the revolution to be awakened, ladies and gentlemen, that spirit of revolution will never be awakened again. Now, imagine Captain Ibrahim Traoré coming out to tell you that there are certain poisonous substance, chemicals, that was given to the authorities of Burkina, that was proposed to the authorities of Burkina Faso to use against terrorists. A lot of people were shocked when they heard this thing. Now, a lot of people did not understand that the plan of certain people is so diabolic to where you cannot estimate. You can only overestimate how diabolic their plan is. You cannot underestimate. And that is where Captain Traoré made his decision. It seemed as though when the intelligence leaked that France agents in the Maghreb, they were planning to destroy the remains of Sankara by working with certain people and terrorist organizations. So Captain Traoré did not hesitate. He understood what was at stake. Because this was not just about protecting the bones of, Thomas Sankara. It was about protecting the future of the Burkinabe people. When a lot of people want to talk today, they talk about Thomas Sankara. And I think Thomas Sankara was one of the lucky leaders whose body, was not taken away. Now, to let you understand some things, right? There is a reason why the body of Sankara was not taken away. Let me give you some documented historical facts about Thomas Sankara. One honest note, right, was that the verifiable record shows that Sankara remains was exhumed in 2015. So this plan is not today. It has been in the work for a while. And it was reburied in February 2023 at the site of his assassination, now a memorial, highly protected and decorated. Now, Traoré now went further by turning the place into a mausoleum with heavy security in May 17, 2025. So the plot to destroy his remains was already on. So Traoré moved the body. All right. Now, we are hearing certain claims that some people are saying that he moved the body without, the knowledge of certain people. If you want to thwart the plots of certain people, are you going to make it public? No, you are not going to make it you are not going to make it public. You have to anticipate and beat. They call it fast strike strategy. You have to beat their plan. So, ladies and gentlemen, and the essence of this thing was to make sure that there is no way that the people of Burkina. Now, if people don't know who Sankara is, if the memory was not there, let's say France, dissolve his body like Patrice Lumumba that they dissolved in acid, whatever Traoré is doing today, people will not understand. But the people of Burkina Faso can understand what Traoré is doing today because they can relate with the memories of Sankara and the work he has done. And there is a reason why the imperialists always want to not just kill the leader, they try to dissolve the body, destroy the body, take the body away. And we're going to give you historical facts that they've done this multiple times. Some which you know, and some which a lot of people are not aware of. So Traoré did this. A lot of people were happy with it. Some people were not happy with it. Yusra Ebaga said this thing. I did not want to talk at the time. A lot of people have said this. They messaged me personally. They were saying many things about Captain Traoré. But, you can't throw stones at everybody. No, you can't do it. You can't do it. So now, to me, this is what I think. Captain Traoré transferring the body, moving the remains of Thomas Sankara to a highly secured venue means something. A place decorated and elevated with honor. Do you know how many people are dead and, there are places of, nobody even remembers them? This is called immortalizing a hero. That's what Traoré has just done. There are some great people that are buried in their, family house and nobody. In fact, goats and all of that will even pee wherever they are. There is so much disrespect to their memory. Their children can come and sell the whole building and tell them, destroy everything. I have seen this happen. What Captain Ibrahim Traoré is trying to do is to immortalize the legacy of Thomas Sankara. His history is written in gold, but Traoré is now trying to make sure that what they've done to so many leaders in Africa does not happen to the great Thomas Sankara. I call him great for a reason, and that reason I choose that it remains with me. Now, it was not buried in obscurity, but placed before the eyes of the nation, so that every time you drive around Burkina Faso, you see the body of Sankara and it reminds you of something. It tells you about who you are, where you are coming from, and where you should focus. So that every Burkinabe people and Africans generally would remember, would look upon the shrine of Thomas Sankara and remember the horrors of the former colonial power that was inflicted upon the Sahel, and not just the Sahel, but Africa in general. And you see, this is a genius of its kind. These things are not common. By elevating the body, Traoré did not only protect the symbol, he awakened it. He turned the grave of Thomas Sankara into a monument. He turned grief into resolve. The people now have a place to stand and say, this man lived, this man fought, and we will continue the fight of Thomas Sankara. That is not sentiment, ladies and gentlemen. That is a strategy. Now, before we go deeper, if you value this kind of report, you can help us by hitting the like button because it keeps the flame burning. Now, to understand why Paris, France, would go so far to destroy the corpse of a leader, we have to look at history. And this is where the record becomes uncomfortable for certain people that messaged me yesterday. You don't poke me. You don't poke somebody like me because you will get a response. Fact-based response. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the destruction of the bodies of African revolutionary leaders is not new. It's a pattern, a deliberate, calculated pattern, stretching back more than a century. They understood long ago that the people who cannot honor their dead cannot find the courage to fight for the living. Now, so let me walk you through 7 historical moments, 7 times when the former colonial powers killed an African revolutionary leader and sought to destroy, hide, desecrate their bodies. And when you hear this, you will understand exactly why Traoré's move, why it's important, and why it matters beyond sentiment. Look at Steve Biko of Ivory Coast. A lot of people will think that the body you see ceremonially is the body of the person. No, it's not. I don't want to call some names so that it won't awaken pain in some people. Look at the body of Patrice Lumumba. It was dissolved. Now, let me make you understand what happened to the body of Lumumba. Lumumba was not only killed, his body was chopped into small bits. Then it was dissolved in acid. Do you know how intentional certain people has to be about destroying the element of history of African leaders? That they can sit down, chop the body into little bits, then dissolve it in acid. In a drum. Only his tooth, one of his tooth remained. And after several contests, they returned the body back. They returned that teeth back, but the body is nowhere to be found. That is why you see certain things in Congo today. They don't. So I will be honest with you. Some of those people in the Congo DRC, they don't even know who they are because they cannot relate with anything. That's why you have so much corruption going on. But they are currently making certain moves, but those moves we cannot trust because Congo is far from sovereignty, ladies and gentlemen. So you should try to stay in line with me as to why the move of Traoré is very, very important. Because this is not the first time the Western colonialists have been doing this. You saw what happened to the body of Victor Biakaboda. It was destroyed completely. It is not just about taking out the person. It's about what happens to the body thereafter. The West is very, very used to doing these things. Do you know how many waves of strikes that was launched to the position of Ayatollah Sayyid Khamenei in Iran? Why do you think? Now, a lot of people will ask me, even though what happens in Iran, I don't want to talk about it because too many people are talking about it. Do you know why they launched multiple strikes at that location? Not because he was in a bunker, no. They did not want the Iranians to have anything to pick up, to see as a monument, to see as something that will encourage them for the future. It must be completely destroyed. They always try to manufacture puppets, and these moves are how they begin. Now, Ruben Nyobe of Cameroon in 1958. In 1958, Ruben Nyobe, the leader of the Unions des Populaires de Cameroon, was killed by French forces. I'm going to be specific. In the forest of Bomiebel, he was the man who dared to demand genuine independence for Cameroon. And after they killed him, his name was banned from Cameroon for years. His legacy was suppressed. His body was denied to his people. It took decades for Cameroonians to reclaim the bodies, the remains of Ruben Nyobe. That's the memory of a man the French army had executed and then erased. This info, you can find it on Justice Info, Nyobe hero and the symbol of French colonial crime. I'm going to be giving you the sources, not just the historical context. Now, Félix Mumi, Cameroon 1960. Now, it took over from after Nyobe was killed. So you will know why the president of Senegal fired his entire government of Pastef. It is not because the West know that it is not just about the man that is ruling. It is about the type of machineries he has around him. Remember the coup in Burkina Faso. They did not just want to take out Captain Ibrahim Traoré. They wanted to take out all the civilian executives. They wanted the prime minister, everybody. Because they know that for things to work, one man cannot enforce it. You need people that have the same vision with you. And the reason why they do these things is because they've learned from history that these patterns can come back. 2 years later, Félix Roland Mumi, the man who took up Nyobe's mantle, was assassinated in Geneva in November 1960. He was poisoned with thallium, by an agent of the SDECE, now called the DGSE. Then it was SDECE. That's a code for the French Secret Service outside France. It was too big a threat to the French interest. So they killed him. They brought his life to an end in a Swiss hotel. His body was only secured and honored after his comrade transferred it to Guinea-Conakry. The pattern repeats: kill the leader and try to control the memory. They banned the story of this man in Cameroon. It is deliberate. France don't just do these things. They do it for a reason. Labi Ben Mehdi, Algeria, 1957. In the Battle of Algiers, Labi Ben Mehdi was one of the most revered leaders of the Algerian Revolution. He was captured, he was tortured, he was executed by French soldiers. Now you can see that everything I'm saying here is French and French, right? Under the command of General Paul Osereses. And what happened to his body? It was never found. His remains simply disappeared. A man who existed, then did not. It took until 2024. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate the support. It took until 2024 for French president to formally acknowledge that what happened to his body was very bad. The body was destroyed so that the Algerian people would have nothing to mourn and nothing to rally around. This fact was provided by France 24. Macron recognizes Ben Mehdi. So everything we are saying is not manufactured. For those people who want to think they are too knowledgeable, you are not. See, these people are coming out because they have nothing to pin against Ibrahim Traoré. And we want to tell you that you are dealing with a different generation of Africa, actually. We are not blind. We are smart individuals for a reason. And that is why Macron is paying influencers to think he can deal with this my generation. I'm not Gen Z generation. I'm millennial. And if you know truly, you know that we are one of the, knuckleheads in this Africa. Like you can't just dance around the whole place and try to deceive people like us. No, you can't do it. And we are ready to step to anybody at any time. Like we will step to you, regardless of what is going to happen. We're not people that you will deceive with all this nonsense and propaganda. So, because I saw you came to this channel and you tried to bring a false narrative. So this video, I hope it gets to you. You found me for a reason, even if you claim that you speak France. So now that you found me, let me lecture you. I can get you out of colonization because you are an imperial lackey. Bold Mengel, Algeria, 1957. The same lawyer, the lawyer and nationalist leader, Ali Mungel, was tortured and murdered by French forces. And then, listen to this, his death was staged. They threw his body from a building and they told the world he had committed suicide. It was a lie and they knew it. It took more than 60 years and a former French admission, right, before the cover-up was acknowledged. This is the depth of deception. They acknowledged it by themselves that was what they did. A former French admission before the cover-up was acknowledged stated that this was how the death of this revolutionary leader was staged. This is the depth of deception. They did not only kill the man, they manufactured the story of his death to break the spirit of those who survived him. You can find the story on BBC. France admits torture and murder of Ali Boumengel. And this thing is common among Western leaders. It is not just common with the US that when they do things, they try to find a way to tell you that we did it. What France is trying to do to have admitted this type of horror is to send a message. It's called mental warfare. That if you do these things, these are the consequences. And we are going to bring the story to the world later that we did it. So that nobody will dare to do it. Because the question is, why did they even hide it in the first place? If they know that they are going to later come back in future and admit the truth. Samori Touré of Guinea. Go back further. Samori Touré, the great military strategist who fought the French for nearly 2 decades, was finally captured in 1898 and exiled to Gabon, where he died in captivity in 1900. Broken and far away from his people, his remains laid in a foreign land for over a century. It was not until 2023, somebody that was killed in 1900, they brought his body back in 2023, that his remains were finally repatriated to Guinea. 123 years, family. They kept the body of the man they could not defeat. That was what they did. Away from the people who he fought to liberate, because they know the power of remembrance. They know the power of identity. They know the power of revolutionary symbols. They know that as long as people can connect to their history, then the future is good. That is why they try to destroy history classes. Are you aware that, like in Nigeria, history is a course that are fizzled out? People are not being taught history again. In France, they teach people about the French Revolution, not about their own revolution. It is an effort to enslave the mind of Africans. Go and read the history of Samori Touré. It's on Wikipedia. Now, the skulls of Algeria, according to France 24, look at the framing. The martyrs are returning. That is the framing of France. They wrote it on France 24. So all those things I'm telling you, they are facts. And this one is the most literal of all. During the colonial conquest of Algeria in the 1990s, French forces decapitated resistant fighters. They shipped their heads from that country. They shipped this to Paris as war trophies. Their skulls sat in the Musée des Hommes, the Museum of Mankind in Paris, for more than a century, an object in a collection. It was only in July 2020, after years of diplomatic pressure, that France returned 24 of those skulls. Not all of them. They returned it to Algeria. Do you understand what that means? They kept the heads of our freedom fighter in a museum, like specimen, for over 100 years. And when they returned the head, they did not talk about how the head got to Paris. They framed the narrative as the martyrs are returning. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa needs to wake up. People should not come out from nowhere and fool us. Now, Madagascar in 1947. The Malagasy uprising of 1947, one of the deadliest and most brutal suppression in colonial history. When the people of Madagascar rose against the French rule, the response was merciless. Leaders of the uprising were captured. They were sentenced to death and executed. The uprising was crushed in a campaign of extraordinary violence, and those who led it were removed from the face of the earth. Their names and their causes were buried under the weight of repression. This information is on Le Monde Diplomatique. The name of the article, the title is Madagascar 1947. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, look at the pattern and then look at what is happening in Burkina Faso today. Do you see it now? Do you understand why Captain Ibrahim Traoré changing the location of Thomas Sankara matters? For over a century, the strategy has been the same. Kill the leader, destroy or hide the body, suppress the name, and the spirit of the revolution will die with him. No wonder the spirit of Sankara is still living in Burkina Faso. This is something they can easily send the JNIM to go and execute, because the JNIM is their foreign legion in the Sahel. And when Traoré carries out this type of mission, he has broken that cycle by securing the remains of Thomas Sankara and by elevating them in a highly secured and decorated venue. He has told the former colonial power, you will not erase Thomas Sankara. You will not bury his ideas. You will not steal his body the way you stole the body and the skulls of the people you called martyrs after gruesomely eliminating them. You will not hide him in the way you hid the remains of Ben Medi. You will not destroy him the way you destroyed the body of Patrice Lumumba. He has turned that very thing, all right, that was meant to be a weapon against revolution into a monument. So because now the people have a shrine, they have a place to remember, they have a flame that cannot be extinguished. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the true defeat of the colonial project. And when the soldiers are driven out, all right, to go and secure this location, a lot of people believe that, oh, they are trying to stop people from just entering the place and all of that. Why are soldiers there and all of that? It needs to be protected, because that the mission of France have been thwarted does not mean they might not have other plans to make sure they destroy the site of Thomas Sankara. So I will ask you a question. Where do you think the body and the legacy of Sankara would have been more protected? Is he in his family house or in a national, decorated environment that is heavily secured? That is the big question. And the question another person should ask is, why is it that France wanted to carry it out in this moment when there is another revolution in the Sahel? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I'm here, to bring this message out. So, with regards to the future of the Sahel, the message is clear. The bodies of our heroes are not trophies for the colonialists. They are not trophies for the museum in Paris. They are not secrets to be buried. They are the sacred trust of the people. And woe betide who reaches for them and try to destroy that memory. Ibrahim Traoré has shown the continent what it means to guard the flame. And the question now, family, is this: are we ready to guard it too? So this is why I'm coming out to tell that individual that came to this platform to tell me that Traoré is hated in the Francophone Afrique as if we are blind. He said, and a lot of us in the Anglophone Afrique, we don't know this information. Ladies and gentlemen, I know this information even before Yusra Abage said it. Do you understand? I'm not ready to go further than this because there are some facts I can put out that, I don't just want to do it. So I just said I should give this analysis as to why you need to understand what Traoré did. African leaders always try, their best. I'm talking about the revolutionary ones, to do good things. But people that are neo-colonialists, like Mina Traoré, I think that's your name, if that is not even a call sign, because I don't think that is your name. I think that's a call sign, right? I think your name is concealed. We all understand the element of communication security here. What I believe is that you guys are sent to go to different platforms. If Macron can pay influencers to start deceiving young Africans, there is no extent that you people cannot go. And I've been on so many platforms. I have seen how you people try to bully, young channels that want to continue to praise our great leaders. But you don't try to come to this type of platform because you know that we are ahead of schedule. I think, there is a gulf between us. And I just want you to realize this. You said I can message you privately. There is no need of messaging a coon like you. I hope you get this video. You said you hope I will not be disrespectful. Everybody on the Android community knows that I've never disrespected anybody. I have a Telegram channel. You can come and say your piece on our Telegram channel. You can go to the bio of this channel and you can find the Telegram. This is not the first time I'm facing elements like you. And I know you don't reside in Burkina Faso. That's fact. You might either be in France or you are somewhere else, hiding in the shadows of people and trying to spread false narrative. Imagine if France can decapitate several Algerian revolutionaries and they took their head to France to amuse themselves, right? And when they went under serious diplomatic pressure, when they wanted to return the body of people they decapitated gruesomely, they said the bodies of the martyrs are returning. Coons like you think you have the moral justification to come out and stand before me. Bro, look, listen. I'm not trying to be a hero. Look at my face. I'm a villain. Look at me. I'm a real villain. And when villains stand with leaders, we stand without. I'm the kind of man that if I believe in your vision, nothing in this world can change it. Like nothing. I can see your flaws and we have to address it. See, Africa has gotten to a stage that we address our issues at home. Don't think you have enough moral justification to come out there and try to be a faded star because you're not even a star, because you're not talking about the development in Burkina Faso. Where were you when 300 people were killed in Burkina Faso? Where were you when 98 Burkinabes were killed? So the development and the progress of Burkina Faso, you are not even talking about the GDP growth this year. You said Traoré collected money from IMF, right? You said he borrowed money from IMF. The question I'm going to ask you is, what did he do with that money? Has Traoré traveled? Has he traveled to Paris? Is he living in France? Does he have property outside Burkina Faso? Ladies and gentlemen, you see, what I would just say to wrap it all up is that there are levels to IQ, and there are reasons why we can never be the same. Because I am aware that you know that Burkina Faso is on a good momentum. I know you know. And I equally know that you are one of the beneficiaries of the terrible things that have been going on in Burkina Faso. You know, immediately I saw your message, something came to my mind that I wish I know you, that I wish we can meet one-on-one and I'll be able to explain myself better. In fact, that was what I felt like yesterday when I saw your message. You see, we won't tolerate elements like you. No, we won't. Not now, not ever. We won't allow coons, some very terrible word, to jump around the open. You can deceive some illiterates, not men like us. So this is a warning to you. You know, I know that that's not your real name. That's a call sign. If not, we can even file legal charges against you so that you can come and defend what you're saying. But I know you don't have the mind. You hide in, you are a keyboard warrior. That's what you do. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see, why they are fighting against this thing is simple. They are fighting against the revolution because they can see that Nigerians now are beginning to ask questions. I can get my gimbal and take it outside tomorrow, and I will tell you, I will show you how many Nigerians know Ibrahim Traoré and how many Nigerians, right, are aware of the good work that Traoré is doing. Even the Yoruba-speaking bloggers. There is a channel called BGI TV. Look, a lot of leaders in Africa, they are turning to the Sahel template because they can see that it works. So you have no evidence, you have no justification, you have nothing. So the only thing you can bring out is that, oh, Traoré transferred the body of Sankara to a place in Burkina Faso. And you framed other narratives. But you know where you lost it? Your research was not complete. I looked at you when you said, I did not do my research. And I was quiet because you've given me the opportunity to demonstrate, because that's what I do. You did not do your research and get the essence of why that move had to happen. This is just one of the intelligence-led moves by Ibrahim Traoré. Because if the intelligence of Burkina Faso are not top-notch, listen, all the coups that have been planned against Captain Ibrahim Traoré would have been successful. So you are not dealing with low IQ people here. You might have been telling lies to the Francophone Afrique because that is what you claim. But you see, you made a mistake of coming to the Anglophone Afrique block. And I desire that you see this video. Because next time, you won't come here with narratives. Listen, all the historical proof I gave you, I stated the source. And the source is even from, you know, the horse's mouth. The enemy of Africa themselves, they said it. and I educated you further so that you understand why they are telling on themselves. Telling on themselves is mental warfare. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an African and I love being an African. And if you look at this channel, there are people from all over the continent. These are elderly, young, you like this is a channel of smart people, not dumb people. So it is just an opportunity that I hope you get some brain. This is not the 1900s. I know that people like you will support the dissolving, the dissolution of the body of Patrice Lumumba in Congo. I know people, we know people like you. Blaise Compaoré was one of us. And I've said it before in the Android community that I respect the bad ones among us and I respect the good ones among us. Do you know why? Because I learn from both the bad ones and the good ones. Because the bad ones are the ones that are going to make us hone and stroke our mental, because if we don't have the bad ones, I don't think we can develop. Because it is the atrocities of the bad ones that we allow the good ones to demonstrate. There will always be bad people. If I'm to believe in this, narrative that God created both the good and bad. So it is, and the assignment now is for the good people to sit down. And when you send a message out there, we sit down and we ask a very, very beautiful question. What are you trying to tell us? What narrative are you trying to present? What type of weapon? I've told people in the Android community, and I hope you are learning from what I'm saying, Mina Traoré or whatever you call yourself, that when Western media, when they send information out to Africans, they are sending a weapon of mass destruction, a weapon of mass misinformation, not a weapon to enlighten the scope and the mind of African people. I hope you get this, right? So my humble Ogoma fee to you, I hope you stop pushing this message of doom, and I've just educated you. Whatever you want to do with this information is okay. When soldiers die, what happens to their body? Do they give their bodies to their family or they take it to the military cemetery? So please, try to get some brain. The bodies of Thomas Sankara have been moved to different locations. Even before Captain Ibrahim Traoré came to power. Now, I want to finish with this message. Imagine there are men that died in Nigeria, revolutionary leaders that was shot inside his Mercedes Benz. And his blood stains are still in the vehicle to today. It's in the Nigerian National Museum. People go there, they can see the Mercedes Benz. They can see the bullet hole. They can see the blood stain. It's a monument, but they cannot relate with the story. You can't compare that story to the story of Thomas Sankara and his comrades that were murdered with the help of the West. You are talking about Ibrahim Traoré. You are not talking about the people that killed Thomas Sankara and how they worked with neo-colonialists to kill a revolutionary leader in Burkina Faso. You are not talking about that. You are not addressing the people that caused this problem in the first place. You are coming to us. You are coming to me, a real villain. And you're coming, I call myself a villain because proposals have been made to me to support the cause that you are supporting. I knew why I stayed. And the reason why I'm a villain is that any negative thing you are trying to put out there, I have 10 times the chance and the machineries and the tool to use it even in more vicious way than you can ever do. But I choose to be on the good side for a reason. And I repeat, look at me again. I'm a villain. So, what I would say is this. When Traoré moved the body, now don't forget, they have been moving these bodies before. He moved the body for strategic reasons. Imagine the message that reverberates in the mind of every Burkinabe that visits that mausoleum. I see most Burkinabe videos. They made their videos in that very site. Do you know what that site means to Burkina Faso? You can go to Burkina Faso, you can go to Captain Ibrahim Traoré's family house and steal his body. You can excavate it. Yeah, you can they've done this thing on so many occasions. And nobody will know. They will just know that the body has disappeared. And they might not even know. People can be paid extremely high amount of money to do this. But Captain Ibrahim Traoré is putting it in a place where for you to get there, for you to do anything crazy there, people are going to hit you up. Not even Captain Ibrahim Traoré, even though you have securities there. That place reminds every Burkinabe every day that this is our identity. They can appreciate the story. When they go there, they see the story. It reminds them of the crime of France. It is different when you tell the stories and you cannot see the people. When you hear the story, when you see the building, and you go to the site and they say, these are the bodies of the men. Do you know what type of inspiration that sends to you? Do you know how awakened your mind will be? All of you that are talking, let me ask you a question. What have you done in your life? What have you done for Burkina Faso? You've had opportunities. You've been in government. You've had your time. What have you done to transform the history of these people? Cons like you gave Yusra Baga the opportunity to show places in Burkina Faso that are underdeveloped. Because you've gained independence for how many years? All right? For so many years. What did you do when you had the opportunity? You were stealing money. Damiba customized an iPhone. We did not hear your voice. Now Traoré is doing great things. You think you have the moral justification to speak? Please, we are not going to take that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming. You know, I'm not supposed to come back on live because I'm currently having some minor fever. But when I got this message, I felt like it was very, very important, regardless of how I'm feeling, to come out to break this down. You see, let me just say this last thing. Don't think you can say negative things and we're just going to watch you behave the way you think you can behave. Like I always tell everybody, don't underestimate the power of a foolish person. What we are doing right now is that every of your demonstration of foolishness, we are going to use it to demonstrate how foolish, you understand, your mindset can be. So I hope you learn. I don't know your age. I don't know where you are from, but I know that your call sign is Mina Traoré. You're trying to fuel Burkinabe. I've seen a lot of you. I've removed you from my Telegram channel. I've seen the messages of some of you that will say that Mali will fall. You people don't belong among us. And we understand. Not everybody wants Africa to be free. Some people love that when they wake up, they are happy when they see people that are poor. They're happy. You people promised that a coup was going to happen on August 4th. You said the regime was coming down. Why did you not protest? So the protest failed, right? And now you're coming. Maybe they've sent some of you. They say your English is not good. What is that my business? Is that your official language? Is that your traditional language? Don't come to me and bring that far. I'm just saying, I'm not one of those people. I'm a Nigerian. I wear my badge on my... Look, I'm wearing this jersey not because I'm a football fan. I carry my culture. I carry my tradition. I carry me to everyone. I'm proud of who I am. So don't think you can, you can drop some bomb and skedaddle your way out. No. You are not going to be able to do that. We are here. And we are not just here for you. We are here for the DGSE agents. We are here for the CIA. So imagine we that counter the Western narrative. Who do you think you are to stand before us to try to talk? You are learning. So try to go and sit down and upgrade your game. So come back with better allegation so that we can demonstrate again. Do you get me? So families, I want to tell you thank you. And I want to thank that brother, Mina Traoré, for giving me the opportunity to demonstrate once again. I'm so happy. When I saw your message, I was about to sleep. I said, no, I'm not going to sleep right now. I'm not just going to let you, I'm not going to let you think you're smart. So thank you so much. And God bless you, man. Long live the revolution. This is what we want in our own country. So Burkina Faso are even, they're lapping the rest right now. A lot of Africans want what is going on in Burkina Faso in their own country. If somebody tell me now that Bumi, we want to go and pick I'm Kola Waliolu Bumi. My dad bears the same name. I'm the junior, right? I don't care. Now, if somebody calls me today, now you should know what my dad means to me. It means everything in the world. But if somebody tell me that your dad has done this for this country before, and we want to take the body of your dad, we want to put it in a national place where people will worship the body. And I know that my dad has done great things before. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell them, go ahead and do whatever. Look, listen, I'm going to tell them, go ahead and do it. We have seen so many children that we sell their land. They will not only sell the land, they will tell the people that buys the land to destroy the cemetery of their parents. So, Traoré did not just save the memories of Sankara from stupid people. He has just been able to immortalize Sankara. And he has been able to turn Sankara into a living God. Because the West can kill Sankara, but they cannot kill that idea. And that idea lives among us today. So thank you and God bless. A luta continua, Victoria Santa.